Hey guys, this is a mid-20s Emerson 45641 BB4 56-inch antique ceiling fan. This is a pretty strange model for a couple of reasons I'll show you in this video. So it looks just like a regular run-of-the-mill Longnose, but when I tested this fan and metered it out with my kilowatt, I noticed, man, it's quieter and pulls about half the power of every other Longnose I've ever tested. So I tried to figure out, okay, why? What's different about it? Well, I guess the first clue, looking at the tag, that BB4 is a special suffix. And I know in the Emerson catalog, the 45641BI is a 52-inch lower power version of this motor. So I'm thinking it might be related to that. And then the other clue, I don't know if you can see it, but volts, instead of 110, it's 120. Every other Longnose I've seen has been tagged 110. So if this is tagged 120, it's going to run a little bit more chill at our current line voltage. So then I started looking for physical changes and comparing this to all my other ones, looking at the coils. They're thinner. The wraps on the coils are thinner. They don't go all the way to the stator poles. There's a little bit of an air gap in there. So it's probably wound with lighter gauge wire, if I had to guess. I don't know a whole lot about motor theory when it comes to depowering a motor, but the coils themselves have a lot less meat on them than a typical Longnose. And then if you measure out the ohms of the coils, instead of getting 9.2 ohms, you get closer to like 18 or 19 ohms. So higher resistance on the coils tends to indicate less power capacity for them. But let me just go ahead and fire it up here on low, kind of see what I mean. So yeah, really quiet, really low vibration, which is good for a few reasons, but then another thing I noticed, if you look at the terminal block, of course I just assumed, okay, the original one broke and is missing, but those wires, those are the factory stator wires, and they go straight up to the speed coil. So I think this fan never had one, because if it did, that would not be the case. You wouldn't have the factory wires just skipping it. So that makes me think maybe this was a special like hotel configuration. Usually for hotel fans, they omit the terminal blocks or terminal lugs. So maybe they just bypassed it on this fan and went straight to the down rod. But regardless, when I restore this, I'm going to put a 3D printed replica terminal block there, which I have right there on the floor. 3D printed and painted to look like ceramic or porcelain on the original. There's the 6-inch fitter. 6-inch fitter it's going to have, really pretty. And the 2-part glass shade. So because of that 2-part glass shade, the fact that it's going to have a light on it, I'm really glad this is a special one that's lower vibration, lower noise. Should work very well in that application. As much as I wanted to hang on to it for myself, this is going to go to my neighbor's den. As much as I want to hang on to it for myself, I know it'll be appreciated, and really the fact that it's a special configuration works so well for where it's going and how it's going to be set up. I'm just going to go with it. Might find another someday, but now I know kind of what to look for a lower power Emerson Longnose. So when I restore it, it's not going to have the nose anymore. It's not going to have the snap switch. It's going to have a 3-speed lavalier in that fitter. What else? 150 watt equivalent Philips warm glow, high CRI, 2700K bulb. It's going in a pretty big room, so more light's a good thing. But I guess that's it. I'm gonna start taking this thing apart. The color I'm doing on the fan is Rust-Oleum Almond. I'll be using the appliance epoxy paint. Should be a nice antique white, a little bit lighter than this whatever's slathered onto this fan, and I'll be able to tell once I strip it down more, but there appears to be some kind of copper oxide flashing or something on this fan. Not sure if it was originally copper oxide or if that was just used as kind of like a metal or priming, because I know Hunter during the time they copper oxide all their fans, but they painted them anyways, so could just be a little technique that they did. But yeah, I'm gonna start disassembling this thing, get it painted, get it wired up. It should be a really nice restoration. It's going in my neighbor's den, like I said, probably the most used room of the house for them, right next to the kitchen in the front of the house. It should really show off nicely. And I'll go ahead and show you the blades, which I need to fully strip, sand them down, strip them, refinish them. I haven't asked them which stain they want, but they're obviously 56-inch blades. It's a big room, so 56-inch, 14-degree blade pitch. And I'm thinking with the depowered motor, that's going to give a pretty good speed separation. I'm hoping that low speed is right around 100 RPM or so. That would be pretty sweet if it's that slow. The fan is not going to have the benefit of a separate light and motor control at the wall. It's just gonna be one on-off switch. So right there in the fitter, it's gonna have a levelier for the 3 factory speeds and a levelier for the light. So, but yeah, hopefully here in a few weeks, I'll have it finished and have it up. I just wanted to share what turned out to be a pretty unique fan, maybe a custom order job at the Emerson factory. 120 volts, way less current draw. Running on low like this, it's only pulling 0.9 amps versus like 1.8 or so on full powered one, full tilt. And then on high speed, it's pulling about 1.3 versus 2.6 on a standard one. So right about half the power draw. Pretty sweet. All right, thanks for watching.